Ito yung mga restaurants dito. Yan. Magaganda. Saka may red dome dito. Marami pa dyan. May blue dome dito doon. Ito yung mga artificial beach dito. Marami din naliligo. Tapos may bonus ito. Mga beach dito.
Kingdom of Dalmatia in Croatia up to the 13th century, and all of our kings were crowned in Solin and also buried in Solin. Okay, so that's the reason, of course, why Salona and then later Solin became very important towns. Salona as the capital of the Roman province, and Solin as the place where all of our kings were crowned. And again, on the left-hand side, of course, on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, you have just stones, and a little bit of bushes. But here on the left-hand side, you can see the rock, and on the top of the rock, it's the fortress of Klis, or it's Klisa, Kleja. It's the key to Dalmatia. Who controlled this fortress controlled also Dalmatia, in front of the mountains and behind the mountains. But of course there is always an exception of the rule, and the exception was the 16th century when the Ottomans conquered the fortress of Klis.
Ito yung busy street nila sa Split, Croatia. Kami din, pero halos mga turista na dito. Tsaka may mga graffiti dito. Dami na mga banda. Ito yung mga remnants din sa 1300. Marami pala mga remnants dito. Hotel, pero ginagawa nila maganda kasi ginawa nila mga hotel. Yan o. Remnants dito. Mga lumang building. Ginagawa nila ng tourist spot. Yan o. May poste pa dito mga naiwan. Ganito pa gano'n. Mga remnants nila sa city gate. Ito yung mga naiwanan ng mga remnants dito. Ginawa nilang museum. Yan. Ang simbahan doon. Napakagandang view dito. Ito yung pinaka magandang view. Ganda talaga. May mga bahay pa rin dyan na magaganda. Tsaka yung bukid nila ang linis. May mga garden dito. Pero napakalinis. Tsaka yung mga bahay dito, old house na. Yan. Dito pa rin ito sa Croatia. HUM, Croatia. May mga bahay pa doon, no? Sa pinakatuktok na ng bundok. Yan. Pero ang linis at ang ganda. Yung simoy ng hangin, malamig.
1,122 feet. Yeah. Can you see the chimney in the distance? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. It's unbelievable, but a few years ago, a young guy from Great Britain, his name was Adam Lockwood, during the night he avoided the guards, the security, and he climbed up to the top of that industrial chimney because there is an exterior stakers for emergency, yeah? So during the night he climbed up to the top, and after the dawn he made a scary video from the top of that chimney, yeah? The video still can be found on internet, on YouTube, yeah? And after, of course, on the same day he was arrested, yeah? But he was released after a few days. Ladies and gentlemen, still you may see in front of us now, a bit on the right, Mountain Učka. Still we can't see the peak Vojak, yeah? Still it's covered with clouds. Here, in this area, the Austrian government built a road in the 19th century, a road that went from this part of the mountain to the other side of the mountain Učka. A road that is still in use, but it's a narrow, curvy road. You can't go there by bus, it's forbidden. If you have a car, yeah, then you may do this road. It goes up to the mountain pass Poklon, and then you go down towards Rijeka Nopatia. It takes 40 minutes, yeah, from this point here, yeah, to come to the other side of the Učka mountain, if you use this old road. Of course, we will use the road tunnel, Učka, and we'll be on the other side in a bit more than 5 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, now on the left you may see the path of this old Austrian road. You see it, yeah? A little bit further on, in front of us on the left, yeah, you can see this curve, yeah? So that's the beginning of this old Austrian road. Of course, it was restored after the World War II. And also there is a nice restaurant 10 minutes away from this point, yeah? On the mountain Učka. It's called Dopo Lavoro. You may eat there all kind of meat, yeah. So a game meat, even you may eat a bear meat. But we don't have time to go there today, yeah. What a pity. As I said to some of you, we don't have brown bears and wolves here in the Eastern Peninsula, but the brown bears from time to time they visit us. They arrive from the neighboring country of Slovenia, which is not so far away from here. They arrive to these two mountains, Učka and Čičarija.
Rijeka. Populated siya pero maganda. Yan, Rijeka. Mas madaming mga turista dito.
Here, so that's why these mountains that seem so unfriendly to many actually offered them protection. They were a natural fortress of sorts. So this very town, Cetinje, is the symbol of Montenegrin resistance for about 5 centuries. It's a small area. Montenegro is a small country, but still the only territory in this region that was never conquered for long. So the Ottoman Empire never took control of Montenegro for long. And it was in let's say with the Treaty of Berlin, when we were recognized internationally as an independent state, that that was the final end or resolution of those 500 years of battling against the Ottomans. Once we reach the museum in Cetinje, we'll see the flags that are testament to those that long history of battles. We see quite a lot of Ottoman flags at the museum. Flags that were conquered in battles. And then Cetinje is now, it's one of the two capitals that we have in Montenegro. And Podgorica is the biggest city, it's our official capital. But Cetinje used to be the capital of Montenegro for a long time, up until the Second World War essentially. And now the Constitution of Montenegro recognizes it as our old royal capital. So Cetinje is the historical core of Montenegro. As compared to some other towns, it's quite young in comparison to some other places in Montenegro. For example, Kotor was founded in the 2nd century BC, Budva, the 5th century BC. But when it comes to Cetinje, it was founded in late 1400s, and it was because they were fleeing the area where, Ottomans were attacking. So in comparison to some other parts of Montenegro, it's not as old, but still it's very, very important for Montenegro itself. So we see old royal capital even on the sign. So the Constitution of Montenegro recognizes it as one of the two capitals. So it's our historical capital. It's a small town. There's just 15,000 inhabitants here, and that's counting all of the villages that belong to this zone of Cetinje. But let's say that this central area doesn't have more than maybe 5,000-6,000. So it's a very, very small town. Now it's a bit of a sleeping beauty. During Yugoslavia, there was a lot of industry here. There was this factory that we called Obot that produced home appliances, and then they also had Košuta, which was a shoe factory. So it was back then unemployment rate was zero technically, because they had to call people in from other cities and towns to come and work in Cetinje. But after Yugoslavia, time stopped here a little bit, so there's no industry, not a lot of industry here. Now it's coming to life again due to tourism. However, there are a lot of people that live in Cetinje have to just work elsewhere. Podgorica is the capital is near, the coast is near, so a lot of people that live in Cetinje will actually have to commute either to the capital or Budva for work, because there's simply not a lot of work opportunities here in Cetinje. And so it's a sleeping beauty of sorts, but at once it was the smallest capital of Europe. And we'll see some of the buildings that used to be embassies during that time, that it was the only and official capital. So there's a mix of everything here, really.
Balik tayo dito yung sa World City, sa Dubrovnik. Ganito kaganda dito. Ito yung mga battle area nila. So ginagawa nila ng World City para hindi mapasok ng kalaban. Ngayon, tourist destination na siya. Ganito na kaganda. So may mga kayaking din.
See, I'm getting a key.
Yeah.
This is what it is.
Yeah.
So napakaganda.
They could probably.
So ito yung isa sa mga city ng Montenegro, King Nicholas Palace. Ito yung pinakakuan dito. Ayan, daming mga turista dito.